We have waited all winter for this.
It's the biggest race we have all year long.
The icons of this sport have all starred on its biggest stage.
It's the great American race. Trust me.
I won the Daytona 500. I won the Daytona 500.
Pull them belts tight one last time, boys. Light the fire.
Big push coming now for Harvick. Oh, and around goes a couple cars. Priest upside down. He's barrel rolling through the grass.
You got plenty of money. Don't need that to keep racing. Is it worth the risk to keep on going?
Win.
Oh, yeah. Welcome to the Bump and Run podcast. I'm your host, Michael D. White, joined by two of my best friends, Matt the Statman Reilly, and returning Eric Daytona Ron. We got to thank Robbie Shredder Stray for filling in the what kind of skin boots do you have? Snake skin boots? Of Eric Daytona Ron, and appreciate him covering the last couple of weeks. But Eric, how the hell have you been?
Good.
How was prison, man?
How was prison? Yeah, we call it college around here.
It was county, not as bad. It's not state, you know what I mean? So it's not as rough. But county, there's still some issues. But you know, it was a little more than just a little drunken weekend. You know what I mean? Not too bad.
How many puncture holes?
Slap on the wrist.
How many puncture holes?
I got a new jail tat, you know.
But in all seriousness, did you win the dart tournament last week? You were in the championship game.
We ended up losing the championship game. It is what it is. It's darts is a weird game. I don't want to get into the weeds with it, but me and my buddy Bernie we're pretty good dart throwers, so we have a high average. We have two other buddies who we want to throw with. They're decent averages, and then one of their dads who's not that good. But overall, we have a pretty good team.
Yeah.
Rest of the other teams, there's 5 people on a team.
Do they handicap your average like they do with bowling?
So it's like we have a 130 average, let's say. Now, all the other teams have a 100 average.
Yeah.
So we're giving 30 points every single
team.
match.
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
So it's like, and at first they were bitching because, oh, you're a good team, you're so good, and I'm putting up numbers and like this and that, but we still lose because
you have one bad game.
If I screw up just a little bit, we lose because they have a lower average. They have a higher ceiling.
Yeah.
So if they shoot above and we just slip up a little bit and we're giving 30 points, you're kind of screwed. So it's hard when you go in to those types of tournaments where you're giving points. And like it's a lot of, I mean, in the tournaments, the actual league, it wasn't like this, but tournament, I just shot in one on Saturday at the Moose. 2-man tournament. There's people that bring in bunk averages. Yeah. Like, let's say, like, oh, I'm a 28 average, and they're throwing 50 games.
It's like, all right, you sandbag. You sandbag all the time. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's not a lot of people do that, but enough to make it like, oh, I know what this day is going to be, to not get so mad when you lose. Because it's like, you don't lose because you threw bad darts. Like, if I lose because of the 12 fucking point spot that we had to give these people, well, they didn't beat us. They're not better dart throwers. They just, in a way, they're sandbagging fucking liars. You know what I mean?
Who runs these dart leagues? NASCAR?
Well, it's similar. There's politics. There's a lot of bullshit that goes on in the dart world too, man. And it's like,
if you guys are averaging 130, if you guys are 130 shooters, then fucking beat us. Like, we're 130 shooters.
You know,
that's kind of what I was telling them. Like, quit bitching, just get better at darts at that point. You know what I mean? Like,
you know what this reminds me of? Here's a little whitey lore that I don't know if either of you guys really know, but it reminds me of my Yaba days, my YABA youth bowling days, because I had a terrible average. I mean, god awful average. I'm a decent bowler compared to the average bowler, but in youth bowling, I was not good. You know, the kids at Modern Lanes take it real serious, and every time we had a qualifying day to get into a tournament, I averaged like 140. I'd bowl a 200 that day. just out of pure luck. Like I wasn't consistent or anything. And we would get into state tournaments. I went to Lancaster for a state tournament once. I had no business being down there. Still have a giant trophy too. We came in like 35th out of 38 teams.
But you're right. That's the exact scenario. You know, they put a handicap and and a lot of times, like, I'll do it too. I'll shoot above my average, you know, but like there's certain, I guess there's a gradient. If you shoot so much above so often, like tournaments, now people do come to throw. Normally you do throw better in tournaments because you're more focused. You want to go. It's there's something on the line.
Serious.
So you're going to dial it in for those tournaments. So it's not, I guess, rare that people shoot above their average. It's almost
unheard of. But you can tell when someone's sandbagging when they average a 30 and then they're shooting a 60. You know, do you get like shit? Is that possible to do 60? I don't think so.
Like
58.
Oh
okay.
God.
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
So like the minute that I knew that like that was going on, it turned into me like, okay, let's win this thing to let's just have a good time today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like once I kind of and my darts weren't the greatest that day. Like, you know, I knew I wasn't on my A game. So it's like, all right, I'm not on my A game. Bernie was throwing up in our last fucking matchup. So it's like, right then and there, mid matchup, he had to go throw up. So I knew we were fucking screwed at that point. Jesus. You know? Yeah. But no, it's fun. Like people do get bombed up, and like that's the hard part is regulating your booze levels, because like there is that fine line when you have so many you can't miss, but you have one extra shot, one extra beer, right over. Can't even hit the broadside of a bar.
Well, it's a performance enhancing drug. You know, you take a little too much and then it has the opposite effects, you know?
See, back in the day when I was frequenting the bars a lot more often than I am now, which essentially was like Thursday, Friday, Saturday night for years and years, I'd play darts and I was never great, but I would always have a sweet spot of like beers 1 through 3 is like, nah, I'm just going to shoot normal.
Yeah.
4 through like
6,
8 or 9, I was fucking dialed in, and then like once you hit like double digits, it was like then it started dropping off again. I always had a sweet spot though.
Man, I was always the same way, and like I was never good at darts. But like first couple of games, we're just playing bullshit. Like, yeah, the nerves are still there. I'm fucking shaking it off or whatever. And then like that 4th, 5th beer, it starts hitting. It's like, oh, I'm fucking getting my rhythm. I'm hitting 2s. I'm not hitting 3s or anything, but like I'm scoring like a 16, 17. I'm feeling good. And then that 8th beer, I'm like, back to shooting over the number again.
And darts is 95% mental. So like, once that call like open loop or closed loop, once you like figure out how to at the line close that loop off and only focus solely on what you want to do, I could enter that every once in a while. Yeah. I haven't learned how to every time get my mind to get into that zone. Yes. And it's I don't know, it's a tough game. That's why I like it. It's challenging. It kind of like it's tough. I think it's one of the toughest things to do besides golf, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, I believe it. Because again, golf's the same way. You have a couple beers, it kind of loosens things up, and you find that sweet spot. And then
but it's also like golf, where like you could go on a weekend and you're like, dude, I had the best weekend of golf of my life. The literal next day or the next week, you'll go on a stretch of 2 weeks where you can't hit a golf ball for the life of you, and I can't hit a dart for the life of me either. So there are those swings, because if you're not completely focused and you like, if I go into a dart match not wanting to play darts, I'm probably going to throw fucking bad because I have no interest, no care, no like drive to stay focused and get into that mindset. I would imagine that's the same way in a cup car sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, how do you channel that to be like, okay, last restart, I got to lock the fuck in here.
And it brings us to Martinsville, which is a rhythm-based track. They always say, you know, you got to roll the center of the corner. You got to get into it. So let's get into some NASCAR news. A lot of stuff to talk about. Unfortunately, this one's outside of the racing world. Dollar Tree is selling Family Dollar. I bring it up because I don't know how it's going to impact Legacy Motor Club and their sponsorship with Family Dollar and Dollar Tree. They run both on the cars. I'm assuming, does this break contracts? I don't know, but I tell you what, I just bring it up because those Family Dollar schemes have been fucking fire. They look great.
Yeah. They've been the better scheme as of late with the sponsors that have been on those cars. Man, I hope it doesn't. You know what I mean? With sponsorship in this sports world, it's hard to come by, and they seem to have hopped on and with a ton of races. And I think that would be a big, I mean, like you said, Whitey, damn, like, is that a big contract fuck up by them? Like,
I don't know.
Did they,
or do they just switch it all to Dollar Tree?
Even though they're doing, like, you know what I mean? Like,
I don't know
what they're owed for the cars that they said that they were going to sponsor and the races that they were going to. I wonder. I didn't see that, Whitey.
They might have bigger fish to fry, Legacy Motorsports, anyway. So, according to Jordan Bianchi, an hour ago, Legacy Motor Club has filed a lawsuit against Rick Ware Racing, claiming Rick Ware Racing is trying to back out of a signed agreement to sell one of its charters. Story to follow shortly.
That's interesting. So Legacy's trying to buy a charter, and now Rick Ware Racing's backing out?
That's what it sounds like. Yeah, it's interesting.
That is a pretty interesting piece of breaking news. We'll see what happens with that. I didn't even know if Rick Ware had a charter for sale, or if that Legacy was looking. It makes sense, though. You want to be a 3-car team just for the data. It's the easiest way to make the most out of your money.
I will say this while we're on the topic of it, and I haven't been here. I'm obviously rocking the 20 here, but it's the EJ. Both, it's the duality of my fandom here. I have to say, ever since I denounced Legacy, switched to C-Bell, they've both gotten better.
Yeah.
So, like, I mean, it couldn't have worked out better for me, because I'll tell you what, I didn't wear a piece of fucking 43 Legacy anything. I'm not until he gets, I said, top 10s.
Yeah.
And off the hauler, I'll tell you what, light years ahead of where they were last year. Off the hauler with pure speed coming off. I'm not going to bitch. I can't complain. They're getting in trouble for being light on weight. I love to see that.
Yeah.
Because it means they're trying. It means they're actually, they're doing something. How many times last year I'm like, do something. Just do something.
Just do something.
What are you doing? You can't just run around, qualify 32nd, and run there the whole time. Do something. Cheat something.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful. Everything seems to be working out grand for the start of this year.
That's, boys, I ordered, so I have 1 or 2 Josh Berry Xfinity JRM shirts, but I've got the 21 hoodie and shirt coming because it's like he won. I can get that monkey. And now I'm afraid, though, like, once it comes, like, because Josh has been running great. Like, like that win wasn't a fluke. He's been running great. He's been leading laps. He's been up front. He's been in top 5, top 10 situations. I'm afraid that as soon as that hoodie and shirt land on my doorstep,
it's going to go all down the I mean, that's typically how it works, man. I stopped wearing Reddick shirts on Sundays. I can't do it. I'm a Saturday shirt guy.
It's not going to, Matt. And remember before the show started, I said I have a little bit of something that I wanted to talk about, like that I think why certain drivers are running the way they are. Barry gets wrapped up in that conversation. I don't know what Whitey has on here news-wise, but we'll let Whitey roll off the news. I'm going to keep that in my head.
All right, I'm just going to run through it then. There's not a whole lot of news worth like really diving into. Jesse Love's going to make his Cup debut at Bristol for Richard Childress Racing. Lionel is adding a surcharge to diecast due to the tariff. So if you're a diecast collector like me and Shrey, this will impact you. Wholesalers will get charged 10% added to their cost. And then retail, if you buy straight from Lionel, they're only going to charge you 5%. So it's actually better to go through them direct if you want new die casts. But they've been jacking up the prices year over year. So they are kind of absorbing some of the tariff. The tariff's going to be 20%. They're only charging 10 and 5%. So at least they are eating some of the cost. But I went on Lionel's website today and the prices are absolutely outrageous. I would wait until they're on the secondhand used market on eBay like I've been doing. Let's see. Steve Phelps has been named the commissioner of NASCAR. Steve O'Donnell is being elevated to the president. Commissioner is actually a new role that's been designed, and he's going to oversee all of NASCAR's own properties, including IMSA, of course, the 3 National Series divisions, ARCA, and all of the track that tracks that NASCAR owns. So it seems like he's taking more of a broad business role in NASCAR as the NASCAR commissioner. And then Steve O'Donnell, he's been moving his way up over years now. So I'm sure we're going to see the same. I know people hate both these guys, but I'm sure we're going to see more of the same from the Steve O'Donnell presidency. And then bringing up legacy all over again. They're not going to appeal the disqualification of the 43 car following Sunday. They said they were late because of the battery, and that Bozzy, I forget his last name on Twitter.
Great. Yeah. Absolutely great breakdown of why with the Penske cars too.
Yeah. So Eric, did you read it all? Because I kind of just glanced over it. I didn't understand it. I'm like, I'm busy right now, and I kind of went somewhere else. So what's the deal with the batteries and the lightness?
So it depends on the racetrack that they're going to and how these cars are set up. And the diagram showed like
the angles.
You were seeing a car coming at you in the banking of the turn. And in the front windshield, in the middle of the car at the top, they put a dot that's showing center of the car. Now, when you're going through, they always talk, you hear them all the time, oh, look at how good he rolls through the center.
Yeah.
Well, the car naturally wants to get pulled with the racetrack up towards the wall. The job of the crew chiefs is to build that car so that it drives as straight as it can and doesn't get pushed up.
Yeah.
So the weight has to be they're trying to get the weight dead center of the car.
Or even on the left side.
So they'll move the battery depending on where they're going to where they need the weight around.
Yeah.
So what happened was so like if they want to move it to the front, they'll take a ballast and they'll move that over here because that weight, they try to get it as close as they can to switch this part with this part. They're close. We could get away with that by moving this here, moving that there. But what Penske did was they fucked up. They moved the battery. In order to save weight, they couldn't. They used a different alternator that was lighter, and it couldn't take the abuse of the battery and the amperage, so it blew the alternator. So then the battery, the wires fried because of you have your brake fans going. A lot of brake, a lot of heat into the tires, which there's so many things that goes into the amperage of that car. So it's hot at Martinsville. You're on your brakes. You're using the fans. You're using everything.
Yeah.
So that battery, it's working. So they basically blew themselves up trying to save weight in the handling of their car so they could roll through the corner a lot easier. And EJ was the same thing. It was like they're not appealing it because they miscalculated switching the weight around of the car to make it work.
That makes a lot of sense. And I was even confused seeing them put the battery through the side window because I remember RCR used to have their batteries behind the left rear wheel well.
Not anymore.
No.
Mm-mm. It's mostly, so everything Eric said was fantastic recap of like what happened. But yeah, so Bozzy did say, I saw also on Twitter today, that it's on the right. It's typically housed on the right side of the interior.
That's interesting.
Because they did. They had to take a wheel off to get into the back.
Into it. Yeah.
Yeah.
It used to be a big deal.
Yeah, depending on the track. And that's what I'm saying to like people when I see that. It's like, I love reading that shit because that's NASCAR to me.
Yeah.
That it's not just going around left.
Figuring it out.
Shit intrigues me like you wouldn't believe. And it's like, okay, they get in the car and they drive around there. Dude,
there's so much you don't understand about it.
That you don't understand. I don't even understand because there's the smartest people in the world engineering these cars.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And they know how to make them go fast. And sometimes you get burnt, but hey, at least they're trying. That's all I say. I
was thinking about that the other day too, where it's just like how such little tiny things create speed. Like when it comes down to tenths of a second, getting tenths of a second. And I forget what I was thinking of, but it reminded me of the Dale Jr. deal where they stacked stickers, the Bud stickers in front of the camera to create more of an arc with the wind over the camera. So it created less drag on the front of the car and it got it to the back and just like all those little tiny things. And unless the broadcast brings them up, you're never going to know about them unless you're in that garage figuring shit out too.
Right.
And that goes to the engineering of it all. And that is why I love NASCAR too, man. It's just so fucking cool. So thank you for that breakdown. But what is the deal with the whatchamacallit, the driver question you wanted to ask us?
Oh, well, it was like it started with the whole
the end of the news there.
It started with the whole soft tire thing and how, like, okay, yeah, the racing, it's getting better, okay. And it got me just thinking about the tires in general and how hard that they've been and how they haven't laid down any rubber, right? It was basically they're trying to set these cars up, give them as much mechanical grip. The downforce is obviously created underneath the car. And I mean, we've watched it, Matt, for a long time in the early 2000s where it was glued to the racetrack. It was like on a set of train tracks. And you got in the car and you kind of went around and it was all downforce, 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 downforce. These younger drivers coming into the field as of late, let's say the last 6 years or so.
Yeah.
They never had to learn the craft of tire management.
Oh, yeah, no.
Think about that. So Ty Gibbs, has he ever really had to manage tires and learn that craft of managing tires?
No, it happened at Bristol last year when the tire fell off. He had a great car. He could have won, and he couldn't manage his tires. And that's how Denny Hamlin won it.
So this is the thing. If NASCAR is slowly tweaking and changing these tires, they are without us knowing. Denny said that before, that they're constantly giving new tires that they don't really say and they're trying and doing stuff with.
Yeah.
I think these young drivers are going to be screwed once they start allowing Goodyear to bring softer tires because they are missing an entire skill set that was on display in the last couple of weeks. And the first one was Josh Berry. This is why I say he gets wrapped up into this, because he is an expert at managing his tires. Why do you think he was up front? Why do you think he was in position that he was in? Because he knows how to manage his tires. I really think he could have given Denny a run for his money because he knows how to manage his tires. Denny won that race because he knows how to manage his tires. He was using zero brake in the corners. He was letting that roll through. Don't heat up your tires. Save them. Like, that type of stuff to me is going to hurt these younger drivers. And I want to know what you guys think, if I'm on to something there, or is a softer tire going to screw these new drivers?
I think you're right. And I think it could even go as far as how much money they had in the developmental stage at short track racing, where how many cars tour guys or short track guys are going out there and they only have enough money for one set of tires for a couple races, and they have to make sure to manage it. The guys like Landon Huffman on social media. He's in the Cars Tour a lot. He's driven for or he's sponsored by High Rock for Dale Jr. and stuff. But he's talked about, like, I have to use these tires for another race too. Like, you have to be able to manage them. There's guys like Ty Gibbs that never had to worry about a tire bill before. You know, they're just going to get a new set whenever they need them. And I think that is a huge thing.
Driven, it's just been
at the hard as rock tires too in Goodyear.
Drive the car as hard as you can because you didn't have to worry about it.
Oh,
Mash the gas, and like now that it's like his style of driving isn't going to match up. I think that's with this. So that leaves the door open for these veterans and for these people like. Look at
Ryan Preece. I was going to bring up Ryan Preece.
Because of the tires.
Yeah.
He could manage his tires. Look at Barry. Look at Denny. Some of these veterans that know how to do that shit and do it well, you're going to see them go to the top if they allow these softer combinations at these racetracks going forward.
I think that's a good point. Yeah.
Theory. Yeah.
It's something.
That's why I liked what I saw on Sunday with Martinsville, and why I kind of disagreed with what the mainstream on Twitter or whatever you want to say was saying about it, because I saw a skill set in play that I really haven't seen in a long time, and it was exciting to see that.
Yeah,
I've got one hole that I'm going to shoot in your theory, just one.
Shoot it.
Brad Keselowski. What the hell is his excuse?
Where's he been?
What the hell is his excuse, man? I love the theory, and honestly, I'm just busting your balls, but like,
what's going on with Brad Keselowski?
An hour later, we got to talk about Brad Keselowski.
30th in points.
Okay, where's the 17 though, Matt?
Right.
So but the 60's been the best out of the bunch of them.
No. Right now, Brad Keselowski is 30th in points. The 60 is 20th, or no, he's Where is he? Fuck, I just lost him.
Buscher's been like
Ryan Preece.
consistent.
Ryan Preece is 14th in points. Chris Buescher is 11th in points right now.
Yeah.
He is there. He wasn't here in Martinsville. That's the problem. But he's been consistently in the top 15. But so is Ryan Preece, and nobody I think ever saw it coming because, I mean. We know Stuart Haas was on the ways out, and before that, he was with JTG Doherty. He never really got a fucking full cup ride opportunity, and he's taken the 60 car to where he needs it to go so far. But yeah,
all right, Matt, let me shoot you with this one here. A couple years ago, what did we all predict when RFK was coming out?
Yeah,
and what were we? We were off by a year, right? We were off by a year. They started coming around. Who came around first?
Yeah.
And then who came around and took a back seat?
Yeah.
And then now look who's back having bad. And I think Brad is smarter than we all fucking think.
He's putting those guys up front. His
setup is going to be different from the other twos to see what they could work on and see what they could do now that they have 3 cars out there. That's 3 sets of data. That's 3 different setups that you can get information on. And Brad, in his stage in his career, I wouldn't put it past him to be like, hey, I don't want to win. I want to see this 17 and the 60 in Victor Lane. I'm an owner now. Well, and I could see him kind of maybe not.
That's what I was going to ask.
Fucking around in a way to help his team out.
Is he in owner mode or driver mode? You know, is he in owner mode or driver mode? Does he want to win more or does he want the team to win more? You know?
Yeah.
I don't know. That's interesting. He is more mature. He's older. He's in his twilight years. Not really, but, you know. That's something to think about.
And I don't really know if he was a really good tire saver back, to be honest with you. I can't remember.
No, you want to what? Because he was always good at short tracks at Penske, though. But again, they were hard as rocks back then. He was winning on in like Richmond and shit. So,
right, they were slammed to the ground on rails, and he just fucking went around.
Now Richmond's a tire race too, though. Actually, kind of looking forward to seeing Richmond.
Yeah,
again.
Honest to God,
you know?
like that's crazy to me. Like, Martinsville was great. Phoenix was good.
You want to what? I'm coming around on my race grade. We didn't get into it yet, but I'm gonna bump it up because I don't think I absorbed the race the way I needed to when I was thinking about it.
And you know what? That's why I love this show and I love doing it because sometimes you just need to get those little gaps filled in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? By us and other opinions where it's like, oh, okay, like I definitely didn't see it that way, but all right, I that's to me doing this show, it kind of either solidifies my point on something or you could split a hole in it. I'd be like, damn it, I didn't look at it from that side, which, you know, you could form a better opinion.
Dude, how many times during a race, because we're always talking during every race, and it's like, you know, one of us is like, this race just isn't doing it for me. And the other 2 are like, I don't know, I'm really enjoying it. And it's never the same person. It's usually like,
it depends on the week.
When I'm the guy who's like, I don't know, this race sucks. Like, I'm not enjoying it. And you guys are like, I don't know what you're watching because this is great. It makes me refocus because it's like,
well, let me pay attention to this.
Like, let me lock in here. And then it like ends up like enhancing the second half of the race because like I realize, I just wasn't watching. I wasn't consuming it the way I probably should have been.
I think that's what happened to me this weekend too, because I didn't enjoy it at all, really, to be honest with you. I even told you guys, I'm like, I've been distracted the first 2 stages. I'm locking in for stage 3. And then not a whole lot happened in stage 3, but let's get into it. We saw race weekend down in Martinsville. Daniel Hemric won in the truck series. You guys see anything on Friday night? I'm not exactly sure what happened. I don't think Daniel Hemric was originally like a contender. I think someone lost that race and he was able to take advantage. And then the big story all week.
Typical Daniel Hemric fashion.
Kinda, yeah. Which is sad because I'm a Daniel Hemric fan going back to my first year in the Cup Series in the old 8 car. But I think Daniel Hemric in the truck series is where Daniel Hemric needs to be and needs to stay.
I agree with that.
I agree with that.
Yeah. And then Austin Hill won the Xfinity Series race. Matt, I know you caught at least the end of it. I didn't catch it at all, but huge controversy about the type of racing we saw on Saturday and the finish in general. I went back and watched the replay, and I thought that was pretty egregious. So I don't know. What did you think of it?
We were at a party, and there was a couple NASCAR fans there, and so the race got put on in the garage, and so of course I'm making my way over there, drinking beers with them, and they're talking about it, and I'm talking about it, and here comes the end of the race, and it's like holy shit, and Sammy Smith is an idiot, and I'm a junior motorsports guy through and through, that's but. For Sammy Smith to go out and say like and he was going to do that was all but planned that move, and he took out half the field on the last lap. Like he just got fined today. Did you see that? I don't know if you saw that.
No, I didn't.
He got fined. I think it was $50,000 and 50 points. The 50-50 deal.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, rightfully so. But what spawned from that ending is a lot of people in the industry saying, this has been going on for too long. The Xfinity series and even the truck series, but the focus has been on the Xfinity series this week is like, how long are we going to let this go for where it's just the wild, wild west, know? And then I saw people saying, hey, the owners need to step in and sideline their drivers when they're doing shit like this. And honestly, that's a slippery slope because there's money involved and some people are paying to be there, and it's like,
that's what Joey Logano said.
Somebody needs to take control of it and get back to like the respect on the track,
So Logano said it on the morning drive where he said like, you can't police guys when they're paying to be there. It's like, what is an owner going to say? Like, oh, like it has to be something pretty egregious for you not to take their money, which I think is part of the problem in the first place, is the sport isn't lucrative enough besides the Cup Series level to afford to pay a driver and not have to have him bring tons of sponsorship just to go and put a car out there. So maybe NASCAR in general has to look at their business model because clearly the teams can't afford to have top level talent on the payroll, and they have to have, some guy whose dad owns a trucking company footing the bill for the 21 car. So
you guys you're missing the whole entirety of this fucking situation.
Yeah.
This is entertainment, boys.
Well,
this is what what we're
Sports
watching
entertainment.
nowadays.
That's it.
This is entertainment. That was fucking awesome.
Grabbing headlines.
That was the best. That was one of the best Xfinity finishes I've ever fucking seen. I loved every fucking minute of it.
Yeah.
If this is what they're gonna give me, I gotta absorb it like that, and that was fucking awesome.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. Yeah.
So that's 2020. That's 2025, Eric. Saying that. I left the other one that he's got some shit to say. Old Eric has a lot to say about this. But with what I'm being told by NASCAR and what I'm being shown on fucking Saturdays and Sundays and what they rule on and don't rule on allows me to have an opinion of let's see it again next week.
Yeah.
Do it again, boys.
Rack 'em up, boys.
Fuck you. You got all the money in the world. We'll keep fucking smashing cars then. If this is what it's going to be, go out there and do it. It's not my fucking money. I don't have to. Who gives a? Why do I give a fuck about Joe Gibbs, Junior Motorsports, wrecking a fucking race car?
That's
Did
true.
it get me out of my goddamn seat when I was watching that replay? Did it make me go, holy fucking shit, Sammy Smith is a douchebag? Yeah, it did. It did make me do that. And did I get excited? Was my blood pressure fucking going? Yeah. So, you know what? If this is what they're going to give me, I'm going to absorb it that way.
Hey, I get
I'll
it.
leave it at that, but I agree with you guys.
I get it. I appreciate it. And then of course, Denny Hamlin led twice for 274 laps.
Hold on. No, no, I can't.
What?
I wasn't born with the ability when I have something to say to just fucking keep it in. I wasn't born with it, and it sucks because it gets me in trouble, but I'm just going to – that's fucking bullshit. And I know, Eric, you're being sarcastic.
Yeah.
And I love that. I'm not saying what you just said is bullshit because I get what you're doing there. You're playing a bit.
No, the end of that race was bullshit.
Shit-ass racing. You better.
Slow down, shit-ass racing.
I've recently gotten back. You guys know this. I've recently gotten back into WWE because it's entertaining and it's scripted, and it takes me. And the reason why I do that is because it's still the quote unquote competition. But I know that no matter what happens, I'm not going to get worked up because it's fucking all scripted and it's a storyline.
Yeah,
and that's why I found myself re-engaged with wrestling is because like it's fake. It's not real. It's
just a story from week to week. Yeah.
The reason why I love sports, football, why I love NASCAR, why I love basketball, hockey, why I love sports so much is because it's not the entertainment part of it that I fell in love with. It's the fucking competition part of it that I fell in love with. Yeah. And so now,
well, you want to know what? If the competition's going to wreck me, I got to wreck them first, Matt. And that's just the state of racing.
It just sucks because
I hate those guys. I always did, but it's like honestly, I hated doing that little sarcastic bit because shitty. Like it just to me it's like it's such an obvious
it's
in
a
your
shitty
face
way to
like
win.
Problem.
It's a shitty way to win. That's it. You want to know why? Because no one fucking shames anybody anymore. Everyone's just a fucking asshole. That's it.
And whoever's in Xfinity right now, guess where they were?
Yeah.
In the trucks. And what was the trucks the last fucking 3? It was just a demolition derby. It was in the news left and right for being like, this thing, someone's got to come down and stop this. They can't do this. Never happened. Now those drivers, they get a promotion to Xfinity, and they do it there.
And now the truck series has been cleaner than it's been in years. The last couple weeks.
All those fucking guys are out of there.
Because they're in the Xfinity series, wrecking the cars
up
there.
The Xfinity series. We could probably pinpoint this to 5 fucking drivers.
Yeah.
That are just out there fucking wrecking everybody.
The scary part is that's going to be the Cup Series in a couple years. No, that's what scares me.
Well, that's the thing, though. Our Cup, if Cup teams go, yeah, I'll take your money, then it will be. But if Cup teams are like, no, we want talented drivers that could bring sponsorship, then you could come on. You know, like a lot of these guys will die off in the Xfinity series, never sniff a Cup car. You know, I don't know who, but I would say like maybe 10% make it up, right? Like,
well, yeah, because I mean, a lot of them now is like what you said earlier, where it's this, not the actual skill behind the wheel. So they just get exposed essentially. Like, they don't make it because they get exposed for not being talented enough to make it. So
Reilly Herbst ain't doing too good right now.
That point.
Reilly Herbst isn't doing too good right now, but he brings monster money. So
right. I thought that was the weirdest signing by 23.
That's Denny needed money.
And then you have guys like Josh Berry who worked his ass off his whole life, and he's in his mid-30s, and he's finally getting a shot, and he's fucking showing it. And you have those guys.
And he's out there saving tires.
That's more or less what NASCAR was back in the day.
Yeah.
And that's why I love him so much. That's why I love that story, and that's why he's my driver.
Well, we had a grizzled old vet win on Sunday, showing those kids how it's done with tire management. Denny Hamlin led twice for 274 laps. The race lasted 3 hours, 5 minutes, 11 seconds, 10 cautions for 86 laps, 9 lead changes among 9 different drivers, but only 3 of those led more than once. Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell, Bubba Wallace, 3rd place, 2nd week in a row. The win is coming, boys. I'm telling you. Chase Elliott in 4th and Kyle Larson in 5th. Fellas, I thought it was a C race, personally, but I'm gonna bump it up to a B- just because thinking about there wasn't as much tire fall off as I would like to have seen. I want to be able to watch the lap times click off and guys start to catch up. That was what it was lacking for me to be super interested in it. But I want to hear what you guys had to say.
Now let me hear you this.
Yeah.
If we never ran the soft tire before this race, how would you have felt?
I'm not, honestly, I don't know. I can't answer that. I really can't.
Because the reason I asked that question is because if you didn't see the fall off and what it did with that red tire, I mean, we talked about, I don't know if we did it on the show or not, but like the tire fall off, there was more in this next gen car at Martinsville than there ever was. There was rubber being laid on the racetrack, you know? I think your brain might be thinking, oh, I want to see what that red tire fall off.
No, I don't. That's the thing. I don't want to see the red tire. I just want to see the amount of rubber laying down really coming into play. I don't want guys 40 laps, fresher tires, not making a big difference. I want there to be a significant fall off. That way tires are an advantage. No, you couldn't. Well, no.
Tires. I mean, people did it, but you most of them got swallowed up. If you were a Penske or a top car ran to, your car's going to hang out. You're going to stay in the top 10. Anyone else,
Honestly,
see you later.
I don't think it was a tire issue this week. I think it was an aero issue this week where like once you got out to the front, you were fine. There's some battles in the middle of the pack, but once it settled down, you're not making a whole lot of moves, you know? So like
that's this car.
And that's it.
It's
Car
with the arrow. Like it's disgusting. Every week it's like this racing would be great if it wasn't for this arrow issue.
Yeah. But like to me, like, yeah, we saw a lot of rubber get laid down. Tires were important to be able to manage, but I didn't see the discrepancy in tires as much as I would like to see.
Clean air rule again. Clean air rule.
Yeah, I was hoping lap traffic would make more of a difference. I just wanted to see more battles, like true battles where it's like, oh, he's catching him. Like we didn't really see much of that. I don't know.
Did
maybe
you
I
not
missed
see the 43 make it 4 wide every single corner?
Well, yeah, but those are all like
going.
Yeah, but
he
those
was going.
He was, but those were like restarts and stuff. Like that's what I'm talking about. Like once it settled down and got into a groove of things, it's like, all right, well now we're on a 50 lap run and nothing's really happening, you know. And I was hoping to see it come down to pit road. To be honest with you, where I'm like, this is what's going to save it for me is if there's a green flag stop and that's what it comes down to is like how fast you could get out of pit road. Like that money stop was missing for me. I needed that. But yeah, what'd you guys think?
I gave it an A. Like I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I think this is coming from a place where it came out of excitement because the car that we've bitched about is getting better and better and better.
Yeah.
And I've noticed it getting better. I noticed the tire wear getting better, rubber on the racetrack, having to use your brake management, so you don't heat your tires up in the corner. And, like I said, I saw skill set with Denny Hamlin and Josh Berry and some of these people that are good tire management. That gets me going. That like got me excited to see that. And, the broadcast took me out of it a little bit in those first couple stages. They were squirrely and bad, and they did not paint the picture very well after the restarts happened. Because I would be like, why would you change? Why would you go?
They start saying something and they change.
To show a battle.
Yeah.
They were about to show a battle from like 11th to 15th. They were just jammed up.
I think that's what killed it for me.
Good. Someone slipped up in the corner, and now it kind of. And they go right to the leaders who are split up and they're just talking about blah, 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 some bullshit filler. And it's like, you just cut away from an actual battle on racetrack to go to the front camera view of the fucking asphalt.
And it happened so many times on Sunday and it killed me. I think that's what really killed me in the beginning stages where I'm like, I'm checked out, you know?
You guys know my feelings on it. I went to school for broadcast journalism, didn't do anything with it, right? But that's how much passion I have for it because no matter what sport it is, right? Like those broadcasters are supposed to paint the picture, tell the story of what you're watching. And it's supposed to keep the flow going and get you into whatever you're watching. Like that's the whole point of broadcasting, you know? And so Fox is exceptionally bad. We've covered that probably every show since the beginning of this podcast for 5 years now.
Yeah.
But they were on a different level where it's like, I think I texted you guys. I said, I actually think, and I'm not trying to be funny. I think Clint Boyer's drunk.
Yeah. I think
go back and watch that race. Like, I think Clint Boyer had a buzz on, and that's a dangerous, reckless thing to say. I get it, but like, we're a little mom and pop little podcast. Our voices aren't going to get heard. I can say that recklessly. I think Clint Boyer was drinking on the job because he wasn't making sense. Like, go back and like think about it with the thought of like, okay, I'm going to go into it watching this thinking, hey, Clint Boyer's intoxicated. And then it's going to make sense for you because it was like he wouldn't complete his sentences or he wouldn't know how to articulate something. And he was jumping all over the place or he would tell a story that had nothing to do with what was the flow of the race. And it was just like, Mike Joy was throwing, I don't know. I'm so happy that
I think you're going to say what I think I'm going to say.
I think that Clint Boyer might have a little bit of CTE from a couple real hard hits into walls throughout the history. But also, I think a lot of times Clint Boyer's watching the race out the window. and he's talking about what he's seeing, and he's hoping that the cameras will follow instead of the opposite way around. And they don't, and they never do. And I've been complaining about it on Twitter for weeks now. I don't know if you guys see me actually giving.
I love it, Whitey, because you're dead on with it. You're dead on.
Where I'm like, wow, Clint Boyer's actually trying to tell a story, and then the cameras turn like completely away. Like he'll start a thought, and then they cut right to the leader who's not doing anything. And it's like, wow, he was just about to tell you about this battle that's shaping up in the middle of the pack, and either the booth, like not the booth, but like the camera truck, they're not paying attention, and that's a direction problem. That's it.
They put up the wrong graphic for the person they were talking about. He already got done, and then they knew they fucked up, so they switched it back, put the other graphic up of the driver that was supposed to be up, but they had moved on.
They already moved on.
I think that trips them up a little bit.
It's like the truck is on delay.
And it's especially apparent at a short track because things are happening so quickly too. Where like at a mile and a half or a Daytona, you kind of get away with it. Where like, oh, we'll show you the replay in the corner, but by the time they get to the replay, 7 laps have passed. So like that doesn't help the broadcast at all. And they do have a new director right now, so maybe it's a little bit of greenness too. Not greenness, but like getting into it.
All that being said, I gave it a B+. I enjoyed it. I mean, the broadcast was bad. It's Fox. It's gonna be. We've all accepted that. We get them for a lot less races this year, thank God.
Yeah.
But the racing itself, everything that Eric said, I agree with. A B+. I enjoyed it.
I think we have 6 or 7 weeks left with Fox before the All-Star break. So 2 months. We got 2 months. Anything?
It's the summer. It's June, I guess it would probably be, right?
No, it's the weekend before Memorial Day weekend is their last broadcast because it's the All-Star race, and then Amazon picks it up Memorial Day weekend for the Coke 600. So
nice. Okay.
And then whatchamacallit, do you guys have anything specific in the race you wanted to hit? There was only a couple guys that led multiple laps. Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell, he finished second. He led 3 times for 25 laps. Chase Elliott led twice for 42 laps. Good performance out of Chase this week.
I'm going to give props to somebody that is usually a joke, and it's usually in the pre-show to our whole entire season.
Yeah.
Ty Dillon hasn't been running bad in that 10 car.
Where's he at? Where did he finish? He finished 15th on the lead lap at Martinsville. That's good. That is good.
That was a legit top 15 by Ty Dillon.
Where's Ty Dillon sitting in points right now, and who is he ahead of that he shouldn't be?
His current racing during the race, he's up there, but I don't know how his finishes have gone.
He's 25th in points.
Competitive.
Dude, Ty Dillon is 25th in points right now. He's above Justin Haley. He's above his brother Austin Dillon in a better car.
That's what I'm saying, dude.
He is 4 or 5 points behind Austin Cindric.
I think the No Other NASCAR podcast is bringing up Ty Dillon.
I love it, Eric.
After Martinsville.
I love it.
And we need to. I'm not asking permission. We're doing it. We need to talk about the old El Paso car.
I love
my God. Oh, dude, there was a lot. Did
someone roll a grenade out onto the track in front of that car? Why was it so beaten up?
Just destroyed. He went through absolute hell. And what happened, Matt? What'd you do?
Well, it worked because I went and made nachos with Old El Paso seasoning, and then, or not the seasoning, but the drizzle.
Sponsorship engagement, baby. Sponsorship
Listen, we
support El Paso, baby.
We support the sponsors that sport NASCAR, man.
You know what else I did after the race? I went out back. I continued digging my hole, my hole for my shed, and I listened to rock.
107. WEZX, Pocono Pines, Hazleton, WPZX, Scranton, Wilkes-Barre.
Dude, Michael McDowell's car, I had to text that to you guys because I'm like, when I first saw it, I genuinely go, oh my God, that's a Rock 107 car.
Yeah.
So, and I'm like, I'm an idiot. I go, but I'll text you guys. I had to fucking do it. And when you both agreed, I was the happiest.
You want to know why? Because the number was red.
Right hand to God, I thought the same thing. I was like, is that a Rock 107 car? And then I said, well, they're in Martinsville. Why would there be a Rock 107
That's the
car?
only reason why I question it, because I'm like, why in Martinsville?
You know what it was?
And then you said it like 10 seconds later, and I started fucking dying laughing.
It's like a little bit of dyslexia from all of us. This is an inside joke, but in our hometown, there is a rock station, Rock 107. It's been the home of rock and roll for 45 years. And
it's our station, especially like us. Like
the logo.
Station.
The logo is white letters, the numbers are red, and then the background is black. And Michael McDowell's car this week had a black paint scheme with white letters for Rockingham, which is coming back in the Xfinity series. It just said Rock on it. And he's driving the 71 car, and it's all swirling in our head.
And the 71 was red.
There's the logo on the YouTube channel.
Is it the same
that's
number
not
font?
Michael McDowell's car, dude.
Is it the same number font?
I think it was. It has to be. That's the standard rock font. But tripping me up all race. I'm glad you guys said it too, because I was thinking it before anyone said anything too. So we were all on the same page.
Right before Eric said it, it was on the screen, because I thought the same thing. I'm like, what? No, I almost went to go reverse it. And by the time I found the remote, Eric was texting us.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
I tell you what, back to the race. A little disappointed in William Byron's performance this past week. Thought he would have been way better than he was. He finished, where was he? He was the last car in the lead lap in 22nd place. But do you guys have anything else to add to the race? Or
I just want to ask you guys a question. Where the fuck is Trackhouse? Like Chastain,
non-existent, man. Well, Ross Chastain did finish in the top 10. He finished 6th, so he's been running consistently. He's been running decent. He's been running better than I think anyone's been talking about.
I don't know if I just haven't paid attention. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you guys talked about. I just for some reason, the only thing I remember is the Pitbull incident. He pulled out, and now they're running like shit. Like SVG. God damn it! Get to a road course already.
He's a back mark. Every time I look, he's another lap down. And it's like, so that's our guy, man. Like, what are we doing?
Right now, Ross Chastain is in 13th, but he only has one top 5 of the season. He finished 6th this week. So, like, he's there, but he's not really there. Daniel Suarez, I don't know if you listened to our episodes without you, Eric, but it was like the second or third episode. I go, so who do you guys think replaces Daniel Suarez in the 99 after this season? He's in a contract year. There's no way they're bringing him back.
Oh, yeah, no way.
And then, like you said, SVG, get him to a road course. Other than that, like, this is all learning experience for him, you know. And he's having a hard go of it.
Blaney, I'll tell you what, it was fun to watch him, because coming from the back, he worked his way up through, and he was battling all day long and having to work in the middle of the pack. And you heard his radio was active, being back there trying to work his way up through that.
I put together a list this weekend during the race, and he was on it, and we'll just leave it at that.
He finished 11th. It was the list of the biggest whiners in NASCAR. Ryan,
and I love Blaney.
Me too.
I love Blaney.
Wow.
He's a whiner.
So is Tyler
I forgot
Reddick.
about that text we had back and forth. I forgot about that.
Reddick's a whiner. Ty Gibbs is a whiner. Joey Logano's a whiner.
Well, Joey Logano, it's like the Joey Logano Memorial Whiners list.
There was one other person on your list.
It was 100 laps into a 400-mile fucking race, and he was crying. And he's like, wanted to get out of the car and go home and suck on his thumb.
I didn't hear that part. I didn't know what was going on.
You're struggling. Like, he's getting the old smack around the fucking face after his season he had last year and how it ended.
Yeah.
I think he's a little burnt out from that. Teams in NFL and baseball that go to the playoffs, you're playing extra games. You're going a lot longer than these other teams. And I think that weighs on you when you don't accomplish that goal. And he was so close.
Yeah.
I kind of expected him to not come out firing.
He struggles at Martinsville a lot.
That's why Carl Edwards walked away.
He struggles at Martinsville and Bristol a lot more than people realize, too. He always has. Let's see. I feel like there's a couple of guys. Ryan Preece, we mentioned earlier, he finished 7th. He had a great run once again.
Great run.
Oh, dude, Todd Gilliland in the 34 finished in 10th place. He got no stage points. He drove up to get 10th place. He did it the hard way. So they even mentioned him on the broadcast too. I'm glad they did. Todd Gilliland
did when he was next to McDowell, I think. They're like, oh, he's driving the new guy in his cold car going by him. And I'm like, well, look at that, McDowell. You should have fucking stayed where you're at.
I tell you what, I am, someone had an A&W paint scheme on
Noah Gregson.
Noah Gregson.
I'm not a soda drinker. Can't tell you the last time I had a soda, legitimately couldn't tell you. I wanted a root beer so fucking bad because of that paint scheme.
I can't wait to see the 4-car and an LJS paint scheme. Give me some Long John Silvers on that bad boy. Now he's that front row. Oh
my God.
I'll buy that die cast any day.
Yeah.
Other than those guys, I don't really have much else to talk about. EJ came in last because of the weight issue. Austin Cindric would have been last. He had an electrical issue, and he's hit or miss, man. But we are 7 races into the 2025 season. William Byron, Christopher Bell, Josh Berry, Kyle Larson, and James Dennis Hamlin all locked into the playoffs. But we got to do our picks because we are heading to Darlington. Shikshini Ricky, he gets to pick first. He came in last. He picked William Byron. He got him 15 points. Matt, you came in second to last with Ryan Blaney. He got you 31 points. I picked Chase Briscoe. He got me 34 points. And Eric, you picked Chase Elliott. He got you 46 points. So you win the weekend. Shikshini Ricky picks first. Matt picks second. I pick third, and you pick fourth. Ricky is pulling for Josh Berry at Darlington this year. Matt, who are you going with in Darlington?
We've got 6 different winners in the next gen car at Darlington, so it's tough, right? But there is one guy, so he's taking Josh Berry. I'm intrigued by that pick. I hope Shikshini Ricky knows what he's doing. I would love to see Josh tame that lady in black. I'm taking a guy who loves a lady in black.
Yeah.
A guy who knocked the old monkey off the shoulder last weekend. I'm taking James Dennis Hamlin back to back.
I like it. Tire wear definitely going to be important. I am going with someone that loves to rip the fence. We were just talking about him. Hopefully he's not crying in that car. And Tyler Reddick gets his first win of the season at Darlington. Going to be a homer like Shikshini Ricky this week.
Well, you had mentioned this driver and kind of the disappointing race that he had. I was disappointed as well. I didn't expect him to have that bad of a race. And I know we're going to a racetrack here where he's determined to win. He had a couple of races that he should have won, got into it with a couple other drivers there. I'm going to 24 of William Byron.
All right, I like it. All of our drivers currently locked into the playoffs except for one, Tyler Reddick. We'll see if he could get it done this Sunday, 3 p.m. on FS1 for the Goodyear 400. It is throwback week in Darlington. So the Busch Series is on track at 3:30 on Saturday on the CW, and the Winston Cup series is on at 3 o'clock on FS1. If you want to check out the Winston West series, the ARCA West 150 is on at 9:30 on Flow Racing. And Racer.com bought Mav TV. I don't know if I didn't include that in the news, but I thought it was interesting. Who will it be? Will it be Josh Berry? Will it be James Dennis Hamlin? Will it be Tyler Reddick, or will William Byron get the win in Darlington? We will find out this Sunday, 3 on FS1. For Matt the Statman Reilly, for Eric Daytona Ron, and Shikshini Ricky, Robbie Shrey, I'm Michael D. White saying have a good night.